Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Final Thoughts with Emilio, which by now it's definitely your favorite show about fan Formula One. Um, I'm finally recording during the daytime, so that's a little nice change of pace. But without further ado, this is gonna be episode 6, and we're gonna be talking about the Miami Grand Prix. So, first thing that I noticed, first thing that I like to talk, and it's been like that for a while now, the start of the race. And the highlight of the start of this race was Max Verstappen with an amazing move to just overtake Carlos and just become a Red Bull sandwich between the Ferraris. So, great move, pretty ballsy. I admire it. It was pretty cool. Next, didn't take too long to see another highlight, at least in my opinion, which was during lap 3 when Lewis was behind Fernando, and it looked like it was going to be a... Well, not it didn't look, but we expected that it was going to be like a normal to hard overtake. But turned out that it was a pretty easy move from Lewis on Fernando with DRS active and everything. So, yeah, I mean, smooth. I was expecting otherwise, but solid move. And also, it is worth mentioning that I thought that he was looking pretty smooth for the first 10 laps before getting hit. So I thought he was gonna like perform better, like he had better pace. He looked like in better control of the car than he had in the previous races, but he got a little bit hit, so it's okay. Water under the bridge. Then, oh yeah, lap 7. Okay, I already destroyed it once, so let me try again. Joe, Joe on you. During lap 7 was forced to retire the car, which honestly I didn't research afterwards, but I didn't like it because I think I mentioned it a couple times before, but I'm curious to see how he's gonna develop during this season. I think he has a decent car, and so I was not a fan of seeing him just retire the car. But yeah, moving on. Couple laps later, lap 9, Verstappen has a very clean overtake on Leclerc with DRS and also with a lot of effort. Just good effort, putting your head down, use your tools at your disposal, and then just a solid move on him. And I think it was worth mentioning that Red Bull was looking really fast on the straight lines. I don't know if it's a fact. I don't know if the straight line speed was like increased, but just to my like concerning that I don't really see that well, like my glasses are over there, but I thought they were going pretty fast, so just worth mentioning. Oh yeah, also Russell back of the grid, and again, this guy just keeps doing some solid performances. I think I've said before that nothing too flashy, but I stand corrected. And in this case, it wasn't the exception because I thought he was doing a very good job with the hard compound tires for the roughly like the first 15 laps of the race, just firing them up and then just start coming back from the back of the grid. So that was solid. Good job, George. And then I don't think probably won't make the highlight reel for the race, but lap 17, I thought there was a very nice, tight, precise, just a beautiful overtake from Vettel on Latifi. I think. Why I say I think? Again, because I didn't double check, because that's the way this thing is recorded. And also because I got confused because the commentators were also confused. So again, you put in the mix the fact that glasses, weird internet connection, and then confused commentators. Like, how do you expect me to not get confused? But I think it was a move on Latifi from Vettel. So that was pretty nice. Okay. What really pissed me off, again, you can already guess it. It's either going to be about Leclerc or Checo. And Checo, this case. So around lap 19-20, Checo is losing power. Big time. And then, like, the guys are like, nah, dude, you're not losing power. Everything looks good. They don't believe him. So I start getting mad. He's clearly mad. He's saying he's losing power. I believe the Minister of Defense that he's losing power. And what happened later? They say that it was a toe. That, like, he was going slower because of the toe. But, like, a toe won't make you 4 seconds slower. Like, it won't make you drop pace like that. So, or faster, sorry. Although I thought it was going to be a mechanical issue, a power unit issue, it seemed like it was a software issue, and like it got fixed from the pit wall. So I mean, definitely not the worst case scenario. But if the driver is saying he's losing power, like it happened with Max before and now it happened with Checo, they're probably losing power. But again, I don't know shit. Those guys are the experts. Those guys are the race engineers. I'm just a normal engineer. So, my opinion. And yeah, I would just say trust your drivers. At the end of the day, they are driving the car. They may not have all the analytics, but if they don't feel that they're going fast enough, I think they know their machine enough. But yeah, at least it got fixed. Moving on, I think it was, lap 28. And Sainz just got a little bit screwed with a slow pit stop. So even though it wasn't a great thing to see for Sainz, I think it was nice for me because that meant that it helped Checo a little bit to make up the lost time that he got from that software issue, or power issue. So I mean, kind of balanced out a little bit. So I was less angry about it. What else? Yes, on this whole Checo losing power topic, I really loved how Christian just, I think it was over the radio, just said that Checo was doing a great job considering that he had 20 kilowatt less available in the car. Yeah, and that he was still going faster than Sainz. So, I mean, to be fair, I didn't know what 20 kilowatt less meant, but apparently it's like 25 horsepower approximately. So, I mean, credit where credit's due. My boy Checo is getting seen. The Horner knows that Checo is outperforming the car that he had at that moment. So it was nice seeing that. I love that. Get some recognition. Let's go, boy. What else? Oh, yeah. So I was hoping that Lando had a nice race. Why? I don't know. I just want that guy to get his maiden victory. But this was not gonna be the case because the people over at Haas decided to, you know what, this race, let's just make it a little bit slower and just had a DRS strain. It happens. It's nothing new. But I think that DRS strain caused by Haas kind of like messed up with Lando's race. And I think it had at the moment, I thought it had the potential to cause a safety car because they were like packed up. So I was kind of expecting or waiting. I was not wishing, but waiting for an accident to happen caused by that DRS strain. Oh yeah. So lap 39, there's contact between Gasly and Fernando, but Fernando ended up gaining I wouldn't say gaining, but keeping the position. or coming out of the corner ahead, even though I think it was Gasly's corner. I think over the radio, Fernando says like, man, this guy like shut the door right at the last moment. But I didn't watch a lot of the replay, but it looked like Gasly was ahead when they started the corner. So I think, or I thought, the corner should be for Gasly, but at the end of the day, Fernando came in front, and then I think luckily Gasly could continue with the race. So yeah, just a little bit of a comment on that incident. Oh yeah, and then finally, so there's been a lot of comments that the Miami Grand Prix was boring, and yes, I will admit it, I thought it was pretty boring too. After the race, I think I heard, read, or watched, it was the second race with the most overtakes that we've had. So a race with a lot of overtakes cannot be as boring as Miami was feeling. But I think that's part of a little bit of the TV coverage fault. Again, I don't know anything about covering an event like that. But if we, as a crowd, received a little bit more of like TV time on these overtakes, maybe we would felt the race was a little bit more dynamic and less boring. But then Lando decided to make it interesting. How? Well, not really his fault, but during lap 41, Lando gets crashed upon by an uncontrolled Gasly. And I mean, that was awful to watch, especially because I just mentioned that I wanted Lando to do well. But it was pretty good. Like, it worked out perfectly for George Russell, because my man said over the radio, like, I think they were asking him if he wanted to box or not, how were the tires looking, and then he said, you know what, let's stay out, maybe a safety car will come. And this guy proceeds to stay out, do some good laps, and then Lando, Gasly incident, and now he has a free pit stop. And yeah, that played out really good for George. And kind of just like going back to the accident, I thought it was very, very lucky. Well, Norris was very lucky that he didn't go into the wall, because I think he does spin a lot, but I mean, he didn't hit that wall, so it could have gone way worse, I think. So good to see that everyone was okay. Not like ever it's good to see someone not okay, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, and I mean, and at the moment I thought, okay, this safety car is going to be really interesting, because it was lap, what did I say? Lap 41, and we're closer to the end of the race. So I was really curious to see what the teams selected for their tire compounds. And it turned out that the safety car did make the race exciting. It was the little oomph that it needed, and there it was. So we're seeing a lot of good racing. The whole grid got a little bit packed up. We have the leaders going fast as usual, and then we have the fight between, a fight, I will call it, between the Mercedes and Bottas. And that was actually pretty entertaining. It was going great. Bottas was holding him off quite nicely, and then lap 50, he goes wide on a corner, and the Mercedes, I mean, just like a shark, they smell blood and they go for it. They make easy passes on Valtteri, and they just kept fighting amongst each other respectfully. I think it's just clean. They kept it clean. I didn't think they did something like extreme to block each other, but that was an entertaining fight between the Mercedes. So I love that as just an as spectator. And then going back to one of my favorite drivers out here, Checo, lap 52. I really thought he had it. Like He almost got that overtake, but as the corner was coming in, he overbrakes himself. So yeah, he did get that advantage. He does get that kind of like car length in front of the car just by the corner, but he has to just step hard on the brakes, gets a little bit of a lockup, and fails to secure that overtake on Sainz. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Sainz. So I got really excited for a second there, but unfortunately, Checo could not get that overtake to work. Normal notes. Let's see. No, I already spoke about those. So, final thoughts. Once again, not racing related, but I saw all the teams' merchandise, and it was absolutely fire. So if anyone out there has a lot of money or doesn't mind spending it, because I do mind spending my own money on merch that it's overpriced but beautiful, and they bought some of the Miami merch, maybe it doesn't fit, maybe they don't want it anymore, but I know someone who will be willing to take it, because all the merch from the Miami Grand Prix was fire. Also, the bucket hats were pretty cool. Okay. There were so many memes about this that it will be a little bit stupid if I don't mention it, but that fake water that they used at the Grand Prix, that was kind of ridiculous. Although, all things considered, just imagine if we had normal water, then we would have skipped on all of the great memes about like I think, was it Ted or someone just fake swimming, or just F1 out of context pics of that water, or Danny Rick doing his famous just plunge into fake water. So, okay, it was terrible, it was ridiculous, but it did provide us with a lot of chuckles and some laughs. So, necessary evil, I guess. And also kind of like within the final thoughts, it was a little bit heartbreaking. I don't know if to call it heartbreaking, but it was rough just seeing Mick and Vettel's crash, because you know how much they appreciate each other off track, on track, how this is kind of like a mentor tutor, like it's a great relationship that they have. Then crashing amongst each other cannot make that easier. What I did like was I got a little bit of a sense of relief when after the race they were doing like some post-race interviews, and they were asked about each other and the incident, and both of them were like super cool about it. They're like, yeah, we just want to get together and talk about it. Mick was grateful for having such a role model in the sport, and I mean, I think it would have been really different if either of them had crashed into someone else. Like, they would probably be aggressive about it, but due to the nature of the relationship that they have, they kind of like blew past it and trying to like see it as a teaching, learning opportunity. So that was a relief, but I did not like to see those two crash amongst each other. And yeah, just kind of like a quick final thought. It was weird seeing Bad Bunny's album cover on the spoiler of Red Bull, and just like having Bad Bunny and Checo drive together. I mean, it is Miami. The whole Latin culture is embedded within the Grand Prix, but I thought it was not funny, but interesting. I would have never imagined to see a mainly Spanish-speaking artist, singer, just being promoted on an F1 car. after the album drop. So that was pretty cool, I guess. I like Bad Bunny, I like Checo, I like Red Bull. So put them all together in the mix. I'm just happy about it. But yeah, on that weird, kind of like unrelated to the racing part of the video, I think it's time to end this. I'm not sure if I hit the 20-minute mark, but it's okay because I'm not obligated to hit that. So yeah, if you made it this far, as always, I thank you very much. This is episode 6, the Miami Grand Prix of Final Thoughts with Emilio. And again, appreciate you making it this far. If this is the first video that you stumble upon, I highly recommend you to watch the previous ones. There's 5 of them with amazing content, just more of what you just watched. And if you've watched all of them all the way here, I will start recording the next one so we can get these videos rolling, because I've been very bad about being on time. So, thank you again. I'll see you next time. And this was Final Thoughts with Emilio.